Here's our example 2. It's a rather looks rather convoluted to start with. It is what kind of a graph?
Position versus time.
Yes, so we're done with what you have. This is a position versus time. The first thing I'm going to ask you on this graph is, actually two things. What is the path length? How far was the path length, or the total distance traveled?
Of the velocity?
No, oh, it got moved too far. Thanks for catching me. Yeah, no, it was this one. Okay. So we want to know what is the path length, or the total distance traveled, depending on how you're phrasing it. And what is your displacement? They should be two different numbers. What is your path length and what is your displacement? When you are done, please go ahead and flip your boards over. All right, on this one, we're talking about path length and the displacement. So it means we're looking at our y-axis to tell us how this one works. Could you show me your boards, guys? Okay. All right, we're mixed. Okay, so our path length is basically everything that they did. So from the first 10 seconds, what they did, they went 60 meters this way. And then they went 60 meters this way. And then they went 40 meters this way. And they went 40 meters this way. So our pedometer, if they were carrying a pedometer on this, it would be 60 plus 60 plus 40 plus 40. So a total path length of 200 meters. Now displacement, what's our definition of displacement? Is our change in position from final to initial. So if our final position is 0 and our initial position is 0, then our displacement is 0. Okay? So we could say its velocity, despite all this stuff going on, was 0. It would have a speed, right, based on the total path length, but the velocity is 0. Okay, so what else can we grab from this one? I'm going to break this into segments. A, B, C, D, and E. At which segment, all right, you're going to write it on the board, you're going to flip your board over. At which segment is the object at rest?
B.
We're going to write it on our board and we're going to flip it over.
I was like,
Yeah, just write a letter.
I mean, if I meant to say A for
Next bit, could you please write an equation for the line between 10 and 40 seconds?
what kind of equation is?
Well, it's a line, so y equals mx plus b.
Oh.
So yeah, you're going to start with the y equals mx plus b. Calculate whatever you have to calculate. And at the end, you should have a physics setup. Okay, first thing you got to do, you got to figure out that slope, right? That's what we have to calculate. Let's see. We know that y is equal to a position. Okay. Yes, I was talking with Joe a few seconds ago. Yes, p is correct, but it's more correct to say which axis it's working in. And generally speaking, x-axis. So our y variable is position. That's our x. M is our slope. y2 minus y1. x2 minus x1. Final position was negative 40. Initial position was 60. 40 minus 15 seconds. So we've got negative 100 meters divided by 25 seconds. It's a 2. So our slope is 4 meters per second. Thank you. And yes, it is a negative. Thank you for catching that. Okay, we have our y, we have our m, our x. In this case is what is on our x-axis. It is t for time. And our b, Okay, this one's not so obvious, but essentially a B is your y-intercept. That's where it starts, right? So for this line segment, where it starts is right here, it's 60 meters. So let's go ahead, fill everything in. So it's x is equal to negative 4 meters per second times t plus 60 meters. Okay. Now we could do a few more slopes, a few more rearrangings. Grief. Oh, here's one we can do. We can figure out the average velocity for the entire thing. Because we have all these different segments, right? Okay, let's see if we can do this. Let me clear my board. So, yeah. All right, make sure I'm doing this one right.
So basically, you're gonna find the velocity for each slope and then just.
That's not quite the way it works. That's the temptation, is to find out the velocity for each one and then put it together like that. Okay? All right, let me see. That's going to take a little bit of more of a setup. I'm going to come back to that one tomorrow. I want to hit some other stuff so you guys have the same information as the other classes. So we'll come back tomorrow on that one and doing our average speed. So let's go ahead then, and we're going to do a third example.